What's going on, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it is a Thursday, rare Thursday NFL and college football show, November 21st, 2023. And we are here, like I said, to talk about all things that happened in the NFL during week 11 and college football week 12. And yes, it's not Tuesday. I was sick. Even went to the doctor. I had some things to take care of, but I'm okay. That's why we're a bit delayed. But there's plenty of news that went in during the past couple of days as well. But sorry for the tardiness. Won't happen again. But that is why I haven't been here for a couple of days during my normal NFL and college football recaps. But right as we begin a new week 13 in the NFL week 12 in the NFL and 13 college football. Let's quickly recap what happened the previous week and taking all the news that took place. And before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Go to Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, Twitter at ProdCobblePod, Twitter and X at ProdCobblePod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations and Facebook at Productive Conversations. So let us talk about what took place over the past couple of weeks. And on top of that, we have our presenting sponsor, Magic Mind. As always, I actually have a new read for you here. So as always, go check out the Great Elixir Company, the amazing company that helps add to our health. And by taking Magic Mind, you take it every day. Due to its signature vitamins and nootropics, this elixir you'll take before your daily green tea shot will improve your life mightily. And as we are about to head into the Thanksgiving season, there's a special Black Friday deal. And this is also attached to our podcast platforms and YouTube. But you now can get 50% off everything. 50% off everything on Magic Mind by going to magicmind.com/PCMBF. PCMBF. That is magicmind.com/PCMBBF. So get your exclusive deals. We have Black Friday coming up. We have the description in the link below. And again, go to magicmind.com to get 50% off everything at magicmind.com/PCMBF to get your exclusive deals, to get some exclusive deals, to have the great redeem your coupon. Redeem your coupon at magicmind.com/PCMBF for 50% off everything. How about that? 50% off everything. All right. So let's go through the games really quick. And we will go through the college football playoffs, where they are at now. But week 11, the big thing here is what has transpired with our NFL teams in New York specifically. What are you doing, Larry? Look at it's Larry. Oh, hi, Larry. Look at Larry. Hi, Larry. Hey, Larry, you my baby, my guy. All right, Larry. I think he wants to go. He's bored. He was sitting on my lap, so he's bored. All right. Anyway, sorry. So let us go through week 11 in the NFL. Where should I start with the two local teams in New York? Should I talk about the Jets' fall from grace, turning into the complete nightmare that they have turned into, and the firing of Joe Douglas only confirms it a little more? Or should we go with the Giants and benching Daniel Jones and starting Tommy DeVito? I mean, both are disasters. So why don't we start with the Jets first? Well, actually, let me start with the Giants first because they did have a bye. I just want to make my comments about the benching of Daniel Jones. And since we are recording on Thursday, he addressed the media and addressed the Giants fan base saying goodbye, that it's over. And definitely bittersweet in the sense that didn't work out. But I don't know if they had it. We don't know if they had it, right? Could Daniel Jones, with better coaching, with better direction, Could he have wound up being the quarterback we expected him to be? Yeah. There were definitely moments where he showed promise, especially his first season. He's Danny Dimes for a reason, and he proved at times that he had a great arm, that he is very mobile, and well, maybe his calm, cool, and collective attitude may have led to a solid career if he had the proper offensive line, proper coaching, and led in the right direction. I think as the years went by, as the injuries piled up, as the distrust and ridicule kept coming his way, maybe at the end, and we saw in the last few weeks, maybe his confidence was just shot. Not throwing the ball, taking sacks, having a hard time reading defenses. Now, now it's over, and we will likely see him be a backup quarterback somewhere. Maybe somebody with better coaching. Maybe the change of scenery would be good for Daniel Jones. But obviously signing Tim Boyle as your quarterback 3, making him the quarterback 4, and not and obviously the financial incentive here, and this fact that the season's over at 2-8. Now we have Tommy DeVito come in. You don't even bring in the quarterback 2, Drew Lock, probably for the fanfare reasons for that. And now the Giants still with 7 games to go. Week 12, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games to go. I mean, like I said, with 7 games to go, it looks like that things are turning into, a new regime. And while we'll see if Tommy DeVito has anything left, I'm not confident. I don't think he's anything special, to be honest. I definitely want him to prove me wrong, but I don't see him as a 10-year franchise quarterback. But try. And with just how things have gone so bad, even though we didn't have any expectations to begin with, really question who Dayball and Shane are. But ultimately, the sad day had to happen. And even if there were times they didn't believe in Daniel Jones, they still wanted him to do well so bad. But this didn't happen. And it is what it is. We thank him. And, good luck. Good luck to you, Daniel Jones. I would really love to see you be like a Sam Darnold, get an opportunity and make the most of it. Like not failing in the Jets and then doing really well with the Vikings like he's doing now. Or Baker Mayfield getting dropped by the Browns for a very bad person, and Deshaun Watson hopping between teams and now finding love in Tampa. Who knows? He had the stature. He has the stature. He has the arm strength. He has the legs. Who knows if Daniel Jones can figure it out in this league? But at least we can move on. Keep the games close. I don't want to win too much. I hope we get a high draft pick so we can draft a quarterback. But we'll see. We still have many weeks to go until we have those kind of discussions. And until then, see you later, Daniel. It's been real. Now let's actually go back to the games. And now with the Jets and how they blew it against the Colts, with the Colts running down the field with Anthony Richardson and the Colts with a game-winning field goal. Colts winning 28-27, keep themselves in the hut, and the Jets season was gone. And with the firing of Joe Douglas, with the hit piece on Woody Johnson showing his micromanaging and horrible decisions on a football standpoint to get the Jets to this place. And even if Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's washed. I still think he has something left and plenty to prove. But with Aaron Rodgers has played declining, but still I think good enough to start in this league and still throwing touchdowns and getting the ball and making good throws. But the Jets, the way they gave the Jets defense turning into the most overrated defense. And the offense who made a push at some points in this game, but not good enough. the Jets season gets killed in what could be an infamous game in their history. Remember when they lost to the Colts in mid-November with Anthony Richardson, and it led to Joe Douglas getting fired, even though we expected him to. I'm sure Hayden is happy about that, wherever the hell he is. But yeah, I mean, wow. Colts needed this game. Anthony Richardson probably gets more confidence from this one. And the Jets are now seeing what they can have left as they go into a bye this week. Be interesting to see what they do. Is Aaron Rodgers actually hurt? Will he just take the rest of the season off to regroup? Does this team continue to implode? Are they going to be a top 5 pick? But yeah, when I talked with Bach and Bars the day that the Nets scary hours split off, Harden to the Clippers, KD to the Suns, and Kyrie to Dallas. Well, was that the worst failure in New York sports? Or this New York Jets team with all the talent they had, but never could work as a unit? And I 100% blame it more on the coaching, if anything. It was a tragic way to go out. I'm sure we will analyze this for years to come. The Colts get a big win they needed. Jets lose their season completely. And if we go also to the Thursday night Commanders and Eagles game, where the Commanders really struggled, and the Eagles now looking like a legit player in the NFC. Another great Saquon game with an off game for Jaden Daniels. But even though they kept it close at times, Eagles run away with it and get a huge game thanks to solid facilitating games despite not throwing a touchdown with Jalen Hurts. Saquon killing it on the ground, and then the Commanders just getting outbeat. Who's on the road, and I don't think this will be degrading. I don't think there's anything to worry about with Jaden Daniels, but I think what we got out of this game is the fact that the Eagles, especially at home, one team to reckon with, and they seem to be improving on defense. Obviously, Saquon with his revenge season is looking great, and well, a pretty entertaining Thursday night game from a week ago. Ravens and Steelers, back and forth, gritty divisional matchup, and showing that the Steelers might have the Ravens' number. A bad game for 3 quarters for Lamar Jackson, but made a comeback towards the end. And Russell Wilson didn't do much, but still played a facilitating game. But ultimately, it came down to a battle of the kickers, and Justin Tucker missing a couple wasn't ideal or pretty. Derrick Henry having an off game too. But the Steelers and Ravens battling for first place in Pittsburgh. The Steelers run away with it, and what was an entertaining game. Ravens almost with the 2-point conversion, but Lamar Jackson with the bad throw in the 2-point conversion, trying to get the 2-point conversion and tie the game, ultimately leads to a Steelers victory. Now they're going to play each other again later this year. I can't wait to see what happens in that matchup. But yeah, this is a prime Ravens and Steelers game. Ravens and Steelers rivalry game was entertaining as entertaining can be, and it was now you can't take any more games for granted. They're back again on December 21st, a Saturday game. That's going to be very important. And we'll continue to see where things lie as the Steelers get a important victory for their division. Big, big win for Pittsburgh. And the Ravens, I still think the Ravens are going to be fine. They're going to learn from this loss. And when they play again in late December, that's when we'll see the real battle for first place in the AFC North. Lions and Jaguars with what the beatdown of the season. Lions scoring 52 points. Jaguars only scoring 6 with Mac Jones starting. And the Lions, they just manhandled the Jaguars as manhandling you can get. What a great game for Detroit. What a shit show for Jacksonville. The Lions continuing to be together on offense, and the Jaguars slowly going in disarray. Doug Peterson's probably gone. Still haven't won a game on the road yet. And the Lions, everything worked out on offense. pretty much everybody, every big deal weapon on the line scored. Gibbs scored. Montgomery scored. Amon-Ra St. Brown scored. Jameson Williams scored, returning from his suspension. And yeah, what a lopsided victory. Lions are your best team in the NFC. And the Jaguars are probably just waiting for this season to end. But right now, they have the first pick, overall pick. They already paid Trevor Lawrence. We still have a couple. Again, we got a solid 4 weeks to go before we can talk about draft positioning. But watch what Travis Hunter wind up over there. And even with the Jaguars, who went so hard in the offseason, probably want an opportunity to get a big playmaker. You know who that is. For the Rams and the Patriots, another pretty close game. Where Matthew Stafford continues to keep their season alive with throwing 4 touchdowns against the Pittsburgh. Drake May had a good game himself, 282 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, and interception. It was actually a very fun, entertaining game that ultimately the Rams almost ran away with. New England made a push towards in the fourth quarter, kept it close, but Rams ultimately run away with it with a 28-22 victory. Browns and Saints, with Saints Taysom Hill on both of my fantasy teams, played one of the best games of his career. Kit with 3 rushing touchdowns alone. Derek Carr having a great game, and just everything clicking on offense and defense for New Orleans. Now they're 4-7 and keep winning under their new head coach, while the Browns are going to just be the Browns, keeping themselves in the hunt and making things interesting going into a bye. The Saints get a big win over Cleveland, 35-14. Vikings and Titans. Sam Darnold leads them another third straight victory. It seems Sam Darnold is, after a couple of blows, having that short losing streak, but now have won 3 games since, playing a team that is in the abyss with the Titans. An important victory that the Vikings very much needed, and the Titans are continuing to lose. Will Levis, I don't think, is looking good here to stay. Maybe the Titans trying to get in a good position as well. But Minnesota gets the 23-13 victory. Dolphins and Raiders in a big game that keeps the Dolphins season alive. The Dolphins just dominating offensively, the Raiders collapsing offensively, and with Tua having a hell of a game at 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Great rushing attack was hard to keep up with for the Raiders, and then the defense just eating up Vegas for all they're worth. Dolphins, the big thing in this with their victory this week is that they get to keep their season alive and stay themselves in the hunt. Good stuff there. Packers and Bears end with, it was actually very entertaining throughout, one of the more entertaining games. Bears lose again at home. Caleb Williams looked like he almost led his victory to a big win for their division, keeping it close, but with the blocked field goal at the end, Packers narrowly hang on and get a big victory for them as they continue to rise up in their division. 7-3 on the year, proving they can play well on the road. And though it could have been a lot different with one field goal to make things a little interesting, the Packers with their special teams gives them the big victory this weekend. Broncos and Falcons, well, I think this was the game to officially show that Bo Nix is here to stay in the NFL. Having a stellar rookie season, he's only improving week by week. And now they have some hope to try to end their playoff list drought. They haven't been to the playoffs since they were in the Super Bowl with Peyton back in 2015. And maybe that streak ends at 9 and trying to keep themselves in the mix. But Bo Nix, 307 yards and 4 touchdowns. Bo Nix, with people like Cortland Sutton, James Williams, and all of that, the Broncos offense absolutely beats down the Falcons. And now I'm starting to question what the Falcons really are, because there are weeks where I feel like, man, this team's definitely going to the playoffs, or their weapons are fine. They're finally hitting the potential with the players they have. But another bad Kirk Cousins game shows that, man, don't take them. You can definitely beat this team defensively and just contain Kirk Cousins and make sure that he doesn't throw the ball down the field, and make sure he's pressured all game. Then you might get this lopsided victory like the Broncos were able to get at home. But a big statement victory for Denver in this one. Seahawks and 49ers are also pretty close. 49ers have had a hard time scoring lately. Without Greg Kittle this week, and a more quiet game in just a second game with McCaffrey didn't do much. Debo, no Ayuk has been a problem. Debo's been doing what he can. While Brock Purdy throws to Jawan Jennings, who he loves to throw to, the Seahawks get a scrappy victory with a comeback victory led by Geno Smith. And now this is going to be an interesting run towards the end. The NFC West, anybody can win. After LA's big victory and the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers just not running away with it, mostly due to injuries, but still keeping themselves in there. And just Geno playing a great quarterback role. And then the rise of Jackson Smith, JSN. Big game for him. Big game for him at 10 receptions, 110 yards. But the Seahawks get a important 20-17 victory to make sure that this division stays as close as possible. The Chiefs finally lost. See what happens when the Chiefs don't get help from the refs? They lose. Oh, man. But the Bills at home get a important victory over Kansas City, ends their undefeated season. Thanks to this, even though he didn't throw too many touchdowns, Josh Allen playing a hell of a game, breaking tackles when he needed to, get the ball down the field when he needed to, returning Amari Cooper after the injury, playing great. And the Kansas City Chiefs, in with interesting decisions from Patrick Mahomes again. It was another down year in the regular season. Not enough time for him or help from the refs. And after the cut, a couple of turnovers and not being clutch when you need to, and no Chiefs help, leads to this big victory for Buffalo. And give credit, especially especially at home. Big victory for Buffalo, and Josh Allen only adds to his MVP candidacy, despite despite having a turnover. But he was able to get a touchdown and getting the team where they needed, and Buffalo gets a big victory over Kansas City. Bengals and Chargers, a back and forth thriller, ultimately ends with the Bengals blowing another game, even though Joe Burrow did what he had to do. But Justin Herbert, with all these scrappy receivers, gets the big victory. Gets a big victory here, and this game could have gone either way. But the Bengals defense, again, their Achilles heel. They can do everything right on offense. But defense, man, when you allow a team to score 34 points, you're not going to win in this league. But the Chargers prove how great they could be at home. Justin Herbert, again, even with his ups and downs, people could have his ups and downs. When he's on point, he can make any receiver look good. And with Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnson, and then the resurgence of J.K. Dobbins, this Chargers offense is so entertaining to watch. And then the Texans and Cowboys, the Cowboy season ends pretty much another loss at home. The Texans just beat their ass. A big bounce back game to get some confidence back with another big Joe Mixon victory. 20 carries, 109 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That'll do it for you. Returning Nico Collins back in the mix, and CJ Stroud, even though he didn't throw a touchdown, still was able to get the ball down the field when needed. And the Cowboys losing their season. What a lopsided victory that both Texas NFL franchises needed, and it was Houston running away with the victory. That's going to be interesting to see where this goes. All we know is that the Cowboys are drowning, and Houston now has a chance to really rise again. They won't have Diggs, but what they could do with Joe Mixon and Nico Collins and Tank Dell when he decides to throw the ball to him, we are going to see some great stuff coming from Houston again. I really believe that. So that'll wrap up week 11 in the NFL season. Our recap there. Let's quickly talk about college football. Another week college football. We only have 2 more weeks after this week to go. And then the college football regular season is over. And then we could focus on bowl season and the college football playoff season. But nothing too significant. I shouldn't say that. With BYU losing to Kansas, that's significant there. And that's what sticks out. And the other one, Georgia upsetting Tennessee, was a big thing here. And Tennessee is officially out of the college football playoff at this moment. Oregon almost getting upset over Wisconsin. Keeps things interesting there, but everything else was good. And all Florida taking out LSU. What a couple weeks that they have had. But yeah, so those are the other big ones. Texas and Arkansas also maybe a little too close for comfort to there. Colorado defeating Utah was big, but still a couple places back in the college football playoff. But as things are getting tighter and things are getting more significant, and we see where things lie ahead, this was a big game. This was a big week to check out and see what's going on. But at this moment with the college football playoff, right? We have Oregon still at number 1, continuing their undefeated season. Even though they almost blew it this past week, win's a win. Miami getting back in the groove of things, and they still are. They have a bye as well, and they'll keep it going there. Miami didn't play this past week. They had their bye. Miami's there. We have Texas still has another bye as well. They're the 2 seed. Miami's the 3. We have Boise State actually at this moment, a group 5, but highest ranking. They have the higher seed in the rankings. They are the 12th seed in the nation, but they right now have a first round bye. With their offense just keep scoring, with Alshon Genti being another Heisman Trophy candidate. He's continuing well. That's important to point out there. But how about that? If Boise State can win out here, wouldn't it be interesting to see them get the first round bye? But other things to point out here: the 12 and 5 seed BYU with their loss against Tennessee, they have Ohio State. Even though they're ranked 2nd in the nation, they're ranked 5th in the college football playoff rankings due to obviously Oregon leading the Big Ten. And that'll be something I would love to talk about here. BYU has been scrappy throughout, but they lose their undefeated season last week. Alabama and Notre Dame. Notre Dame just continuing to destroy teams. Their defense is preventing the other teams to score. And everything seems to be finally clicking with Notre Dame. That loss to Northern Illinois really sparked a plug up their ass. And with 2 weeks to go, they're trying to secure their place in the college football playoff. They are now. And then with Alabama, and then Alabama's just right behind them, kicking Mercer's ass 52-7 this week. Say it's 7 in the college football rankings, but now they're ranked 9th in the college football playoffs. So Notre Dame and Alabama are set up. Georgia and Penn State. Again, Georgia behind. They are ranked 10th, but behind Texas. And then Penn State continuing to do their thing. Another beatdown this past week against Purdue. The 11 and 6 seed there. And Indiana still undefeated, ranked 5th in the nation. And Ole Miss 9th. And the Ole Miss is 8-2, and they're ranked in the 10th seed. So it would be Indiana and Ole Miss. So the first round at this moment would be BYU and Ohio State, Alabama and Notre Dame, Georgia, Penn State, Ole Miss, and Indiana. How about that? And then we have a huge, absolutely huge game, Ohio State versus Indiana. And Indiana's going to Ohio State. Ohio State is a 12-point favorite. Wouldn't be surprised if Indiana closes that gap at least to close the cover. But this would be a huge win for that program if they, the fifth seed, can take out Ohio State and secure their spot a little closer in the college football playoff rankings. That will be insanely significant. Watch out for that. And yeah, and as we continue, that's the other big things to point out. I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky and Texas keeps it close. Kentucky at the 20.5 point underdog. Watch out there. Arizona and BYU are going to play each other, where Arizona State, ranked 21 in the nation, goes to BYU. Arizona State's actually a 3 point favorite. And then if, say, Colorado beats Kansas, who BYU wasn't able to defeat, say Colorado gets that victory, and they can lead the Big 12, and they take the lead to get a spot in the college football playoff. Just watch out there. Those are the other games that really point out. I think Notre Dame and Army's an interesting one, but I think Notre Dame might have the edge on that. And yeah, we will see where other things go. The Oklahoma has been disappointing this year, but they'll play against Alabama. Maybe this is their chance to play some spoiler and at least get a secure spot in a bowl game. But yeah, that's what we have with college football. As we only have 2 weeks to go, I can't wait to talk to you about it next week. But that'll complete my football show for this past week. Again, I'm sorry it took till Thursday to do my recap. I was just sick, but we'll be back at it next Tuesday. As I said, Tuesdays in November for college football and the NFL. And then we'll switch it back up to Mondays when December hits. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. Check out the tweet cap tomorrow. And then we'll be back at it with another week as we inch closer to Thanksgiving. Well, much love, everybody. See you soon. Peace.